What's up, guitar people? I wanted to do a quick question answer video for some of the comments that have been left in the last few videos, especially the Yousician Rocksmith critique video. I'll get to that one in a second. I'll do some other ones first, then get to that one. So let's start off. Aaron Drumboo. Ah, come on. Where's Lil Wayne at, Liam? Shut up, Aaron. James Went. I admit to the lead thing, but do bassists count in this setting? Absolutely. What's weird is that bassists seem to be less prone to dumb stuff than guitarists. I don't know why. Maybe bassists are just smarter people. But yes, in general, bassists will be guilty of some of the things in this video, for sure. Dreaded Walrus. Liam, what's the guitar to start learning on, acoustic or electric? The answer is whichever you have access to. If you have access to either, then pick them both up and make any noise with them. Just hit it and make a sound. If either of them you prefer the sound of, or you find it easy to make any sound, then that's the one to go for. It also depends on what sort of music you're into. If you're more into folk or unplugged stuff, then maybe the acoustic guitar's for you, but if you're more into rock and metal, then the electric's probably for you. Sub-Nero. A Launchpad is not an instrument, it's a MIDI controller, that's its LMFAO. I think you might not be the kind of person this video is actually targeted at. If you were, you'd probably be a little angrier. The point of the video was to call out YouTubers who are remaking popular tunes by doing a Launchpad cover of it, but not actually really doing anything. Because of the nature of them, you can't really tell what someone's doing with a Launchpad unless you have like their Ableton or their DAW up on screen as well. So they could be doing some really impressive, really highly musical, highly creative stuff, or they could be pressing a play button just once and then leaving it. But actually, in general, I think MIDI controllers are instruments. I mean, it's not the sound banks or the samples that are the instrument, is it? So it's probably the controller, right? The thing you actually play, surely? So now we're going to go on to the Get a Friggin' Tutor video. Yousician Heisenberg. Oh, shut up, you idiot. With this application, I'm semi-pro now, and in 6 months. It's all about the labor you've spent. It may well all be about the labor, that's true. You're not semi-pro. Sorry. But if you've been playing guitar for 6 months, you're not a semi-professional. And actually, semi-professional is an interesting thing to claim to be, because if you, I guess, if you went busking and someone threw a penny at you, you'd be semi-professional because some of your income is derived from music. Do feel free to prove me wrong, though. I'd like to be proved wrong. If you are a professional guitarist after 6 months because of this app, I want to hear about it, absolutely. Unfortunately, there's nothing on your YouTube channel, so I can't really judge your playing, much less whether people would pay money for it. So, like I said, please do send me some music. I actually want to see what 6 months of Yousician looks like. Dan Amrich. For what it's worth, Rocksmith has encouraged using their software with a teacher for several years now. I didn't actually know this prior to creating my video. And actually, Rocksmith tweeted me the same video, so I am aware now that that is the case. Good, I guess. My only problem is that the marketing and adverts for Rocksmith seem to imply it's all you actually need. And I get why that is, because obviously in your adverts you can't say, buy this awesome product, but you'll still need to spend money on other things. Because that's not good marketing, is it? I guess it is good that they acknowledge in some way that you should use a teacher as well. Bully for them. Brandon Allman. Rocksmith has helped me a lot. I've come a long way, but it's all I have right now. I can't afford a teacher, and I know barely any theory. That's pretty typical of what I would expect from someone who's learned from Rocksmith alone. I imagine you're in the same situation I was in when I was trying to teach myself guitar, which is that you want to know more theory, but you don't know enough to even know what you should be Googling. My advice is that you search YouTube for videos on things you already know. I'm gonna guess you know open chords. Find a video on open chords, firstly to recap, but also to build upon your understanding of that particular subject area. Hopefully some of these videos on YouTube will use language that you don't quite understand or particular terms you don't know. That's something you want to Google, whatever they are. Or hopefully they might give you advice on the next stage of what to learn following on from that subject. I hope that's in some way useful to you, and I also hope that you get a tutor in the very near future. Bloody Carks, I understand your sentiment, but I don't particularly agree with you about Yousician. Yousician prefaces its lessons showing the correct way to play. Just because a video demonstrates or explains something does not mean you understand it. Sorry, but I stand by what I've said about this. There's more to this comment. Yousician has a free version that you do not even have to think about subscribing for. Personally, I think it's easier for someone who has less access to tutors due to circumstances like money. Like I said, I would do what I can to find a tutor, but I do appreciate money isn't easy for everyone at all. If you're in a situation where you can't afford anything and you don't have access to anyone that can show you stuff for free, I would actually suggest looking through YouTube, as I've said to previous comments, and looking for some of the better rated videos there. I might do a video in the future about what to look for online if you are teaching yourself guitar because you have no money. If you find it easier for whatever reason to use a free version of Yousician, then yeah, go for it, whatever. I just feel like you should be cautious of any free versions of anything. There's almost always a catch. At least with YouTube, the only reason that guitar tutorials are uploaded is A, for the guitarist to show off, and B, to provide free education. So there's no catch. There's still more to this comment. I think in the long run, a tutor is better, but as a beginning step, I personally find Yousician to be helpful. I think we're basically in agreement, Mr. Carks. Whatever inspires you about playing music in the first place is fine, and like it doesn't matter what I or anyone else says about that, but I would encourage you long term to find a tutor for the reasons I have said many times already. Thank you for your comment, appreciated. Rodrigo Fee, I'm sorry man, I'm just not even going to try to say your surname, and Dan Amrich. This thread goes on a bit. Basically, I used the wrong word in my video because I'm prone to stupidity because I'm a guitarist. It is entirely my fault. I used the word supplement when I should have said replacement somewhere towards the end of my video. I'm sure I've heard people use those two words interchangeably, albeit wrongly, which objectively I know, but yeah, sorry, that one's on me. Let's all just do our best to get on with our lives, yeah? Jen Jude, I disagree with you. I learned the guitar by Yousician and I'm still learning actually, and I got level 9. And if you love something and want to learn it, you will and you can. I always wanted to play guitar, piano, bass and ukulele, but I could only learn guitar, and yes, these are games. Games that we learn from, so don't be rude for something most people love and go find yourself something to do. Firstly, if I say that I don't think something's very good, it's not a great argument to tell me that you're expert at that thing. It doesn't work as a defense, does it? Something more like, I used this thing you don't like and now I have an A level in music would be a better argument, because that's more of an internationally accepted standard, isn't it? Secondly, I don't think I was being rude, I think you just disagree with me. And lastly, in response to go find yourself something to do, don't tell me how to live my life. That's really rude. And to wrap up, Rachel Taylor. I love Yousician. I use it to play guitar and bass. I've done my exams as well with Rock School and RGT. Thanks for your comment, Rachel. You have actually made the best pro Yousician argument of the entire comment section. Great. Unfortunately, I teach the RGT syllabus and I don't have an awful lot of faith in it, I'm afraid. I'm not entirely in favour of music grades in general either, but that's just my experience. If Yousician has helped you and if grades are what you're aiming for and you take pleasure from that, then I wish you the best, and I hope you don't feel like I'm trying to crap on something you take enjoyment from. And actually that goes for any of the other comments. If you enjoy something, It's none of my business, is it, really? It's up to you. I wanted to do a Q&A style video to answer some of these questions and comments in a bit more detail, especially with the Yousician Rocksmith video, which brought in just way more views than my regular viewership. Thanks to everyone who subscribed off the back of that video. I'm assuming we're all on the same team, which is nice. And I'm actually nearly at 400 subs, which is mental to me because I was at 300 like a few months ago. So I'm really happy with that. Thanks for everyone that's been part of that. So yes, thank you for all the comments. Even if we disagree, it's nice that we have a forum to talk about these kind of things. Leave more comments on the video. That's cool. Subscribe if you haven't, and if you more or less agree with things I've said. See you next Friday at 4 PM GMT. Toodaloo.